All right. Welcome to the Canary in the Cage podcast. You've got Ron Morgan here and
Dave Havlicek.
So, Dave, I heard you have a special announcement to make now.
So last week we did a Monero giveaway, 0.01 Monero, which is about $1 and change. Some guy snatched it up right away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so congratulations to Louis Marie.
Hey, Louis, man, thanks for listening. Wow. Tell your friends.
And we're going to be doing these every week, hopefully, going forward. So stay tuned for this week's challenge.
Yeah, I'm actually going to be trying to come up with some like prepper skills challenges here in the future. Kind of see if you guys are even listening to me or if it's just Dave you're here to listen to. I'm not really sure yet. You know, because we're on the dark web, so you guys may not be muting me out and just listening to Dave. Who knows? I don't watch TV too much, or at least the TV news, because, you know, it's the TV news. But I did learn something today. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I learned that, the eclipse we had, which, hey, thank you, everybody, we survived.
Yeah, man.
Woo! No rapture, no earthquakes. Sorry about that. I kind of thought there might be one or two. But I was wrong, as usual. But no, I learned that the eclipse and the cicadas that are coming here this year are signs of global warming.
Oh, yeah? How's that work?
Well, okay. It was on The View, so I actually wasn't watching the TV. It was a clip that I saw. But Whoopi Goldberg actually shut the lady down when she was talking.
Really?
She's like, that's not a sign of global warming, guys. We can't be crazy with this. So I was kind of weird that, and the only reason I believe it's true now, because I can't agree with Whoopi Goldberg. There's I've got to have some checks and balances in life here, and she's one of them.
Broken clocks, you know.
Yeah, maybe every twice. She's not right twice a day, though. You cannot give her twice a day. Jesus.
Okay, so explain how a eclipse, which is an astronomical phenomenon that happens, you know, the moon and the sun, how can that be related to global warming?
Well, you ever had the cicadas that come around every 7 years since I was born.
Well, there's actually different species on different cycles. Did you know that?
Yes, I did actually.
And they all have prime numbers.
I did not know that. Oh, shit, we're learning something.
Do you know why that's true? Why they're prime numbers?
Why?
It's so they avoid interfering with each other as much as possible. So because prime numbers, when you multiply them, they don't line up very often. So like 13 and 17.
Yeah.
If you count every 13 years and every 17 years, they won't line up very often. I think they'll line up every 100-something years.
Yeah, I believe like once in my life they lined up actually. Yeah. It's just global. I kind of did that because the global warming is kind of a catch-all for everything.
Something happens? global warming.
Well, it's too hot. It's global warming. It's too cold. It's global warming. It's like, just
stop. Are melting. Global warming. The glaciers are not melting. Global warming.
So when I lived in Seattle, and it's funny because I heard this interview probably about a month before I moved here to Vegas. And they're like, oh, global warming is so bad, we're going to heat up by 1 to 2 degrees over the next 10 years.
Yeah.
And how could anybody survive at 95 degrees? I'm like,
so like that number is a global average.
Right.
Which, how the fuck does that even translate into local temperatures? But I think what the biggest effect, if this is happening, is that people are going to have to move from the equator to more north or south.
So we're all going to become snowbirds?
Well, no, but there won't be snow in those areas. That's why you're moving.
Oh, I gotcha.
But the funny thing is, if you look at a globe, that's where all the mass of the land is.
Wait, a globe or a flat thing?
No, globe. Well, whatever you want to look at.
I'm not a flat earther. Please don't harass me on that. I don't want the emails.
But that's where all the land is. So like a lot of that land, like Canada, right? You can't really farm in Canada, right? Because it's just ice a lot of the time. So if that was year-round temperate, that would all be farmland. So it would actually be good in the long term for humans, but you do have that cost of moving everybody up or down.
Speaking of Canada, and we did not set this up, people, their gas is almost equal to $10 American.
Holy shit.
They have a new global tax on their gas.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so Canadians are pissed. Get ready to go, people. Just like here in America, vote smart.
Justin Castro.
Is he related to the guy from Cuba?
Well, if you look at the photos of the two of them next to each other, it looks fucking the same thing.
That's just our opinion. We're probably wrong.
He doesn't look anything like his supposed father.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's true. So maybe he is a communist bastard. Speaking of communist bastards, did you hear what? Actually, I go back and forth with Putin. No, I mean he does what's best for his country, and his country loves him.
I think he does what's best for Putin.
But I mean, he is loved in Russia, in Mother Russia.
Well, what happens to people who don't love him?
Well, they die in plane crashes and they die in prison.
I thought they got thrown out of buildings like the 24th story. I thought that was the thing there.
Sorry, Putin. It's in our opinion we're probably wrong.
Don't poison me.
Or shoot me with a heart attack gun. No, he came out a couple of days ago and said, so that theater attack in Russia. The guys who they caught the guys. So the guys could not get back.
Allegedly.
Oh shit! You're going deeper than I did. No, and so they're like, well, it's ISIS. They blamed ISIS, and I also learned this that I think I mentioned this last week is ISIS is the creation of the CIA under Obama.
Right.
So, but Putin came out and said Joe Biden and Hunter Biden is responsible for that attack because Burisma is the ones that hired them.
Okay.
At least that's what the shooters are saying.
Yeah.
So
I
don't
might say
know.
that too.
What's that?
I might say that too. I'll say whatever the fuck you want if you're torturing me. I mean, that's the thing is they use these tactics over there where it's like it's not it's not useful.
Stop bringing logic into this.
Well,
No, I know. No, but I mean okay, the pipeline. Did we blow it up or did somebody else blow it up?
the Nord
Stream pipeline.
I mean, define we, right? Because like if
Our United States Navy.
well, because if we pay some independent contractors that are foreign nationals, does that count as us doing it?
Well, I mean, I believe there was a Navy ship in the area about a couple of days before it blew
Yeah,
up.
but they could have just trained the guys. I mean, we just trained them. We
see?
didn't actually blow it up.
Libertarians don't always necessarily have the same opinion. We have a wide view.
I mean, I don't have an opinion. I just none of it makes any fucking sense. It's all fishy.
That is true.
It's the whole cui bono, right? Who benefits? Does Russia benefit in any way from you?
From what was that?
Cui bono. It's a Latin.
Stop using Latin,
You
dude.
didn't go to Catholic school as a Chicagoan?
No.
We all went to Catholic school.
You gotta understand, I was raised in Indiana though until I was 15, so I'm Southern. I was raised Southern Baptist, which I recommend not for kids, people. all organized religions should
Well,
just be.
I'll tell you, Catholic school is great. It's the best way to become an atheist.
Oh shit, dude! I know so many Catholic students that got their ass whooped by nuns. Oh Jesus!
We never got hit or anything, but they were rough. I mean, they were mean and nasty.
They're nuns though. Stop leaving the penguins alone. Jesus.
They started it.
Yes, they did. So, you're running for Congress, correct?
Yeah.
So,
unfortunately,
no, but this might benefit you. I mean, this is actually pretty big because you have the FBI spies on people.
Of course,
allegedly, kind of, sort of, maybe not.
Sure. I know they have lists on me.
So so I'm going to jump over to the FISA warrants.
Yeah.
The FISA warrants were it's a warrant that you can get to spy on people. Typically, we do foreign nationals and terrorists. Have we caught any terrorists by a FISA warrant?
Not that I know of.
Okay, but we use the FISA warrant to spy on Americans.
Right.
Okay, so that's where I'm kind of getting at here. So with the FISA warrant, they're bringing up the FISA warrant for a vote, and it's having a rough road in Congress right now because apparently there might be a couple Republicans who remember they're Republicans, which I'm pretty happy to hear that. So the reason it should fail because it should fucking fail. You'd stop spying on us without a warrant. But so the new bill says that we can use FISA warrants to spy on people,
right?
Except for Congress.
Yeah, of course.
Actually, maybe not except for Congress. I guess how it's worded is, if you spy on a member of Congress, you have to let them know.
Oh, okay. Well,
I'm pretty sure that that conversation is never going to happen.
Actually, on the way here, I was reading a tweet by Thomas Massey, not while driving, but after I stopped for food. So he was explaining that the vote they had today wasn't actually on the bill; it was whether to bring the bill for a vote.
Oh, okay.
And he said, there's actually two camps on this. Like one camp wants to bring the bill so that they can get it on record who's voting for this shit, and then the other camp doesn't want to bring the bill at all. And what Massey was saying, there's a risk that if you don't bring the bill at all, the speaker can like sneak through some other bullshit like in an omnibus package or so. it's a little more complicated than
Well, that
the news
sounds
makes out.
yeah, but that sounds like like an intelligent move.
Well, yeah. Well, which one?
Well, I'm talking about Congress.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, have they done an intelligent move recently?
I don't think so.
And we got sort of breaking news that the head of the FBI said we should expect terrorist attacks in America in the very, very near future.
Oh, that's great.
What could stop that? Could the FISA warrant stop that?
The FISA warrants could let the FBI know where the attack's going to be so that they could do nothing about it.
So maybe the government is lying, or actually in this case it would be the FBI is lying to us?
They wouldn't do that.
I don't know. I think they would.
I mean, it's not like they lied when they were first founded or anything, right?
I mean, even Fox News is asking why this isn't being passed. So basically, if Fox News, CNN, and any of those little alphabet news networks want something to pass, I vote no.
Yeah.
But yet Congress is in their pockets. Oh, shit. What else do we want to talk about?
Well, okay, so I have a good one.
Oh.
I don't know when this happened, but like the hit the news cycle the other day. So in Chicago, there was a shooting of a police shooting of a traffic stopped suspect. So I watched the video. The body cam came out.
Yeah.
Did you watch the body cam footage of this?
Yes, I did.
So, I mean, these cops do not look good in this situation.
Oh, really?
No. So, like, okay, number one, they're plain clothes, right? They cut the guy off in traffic to get him to stop. Now, I don't know what happened before that. So
I've seen the edited version then.
It could have been that they were trying to stop him and he wasn't stopping, but I don't know that. So we get after they exit the vehicle.
Okay.
And ordering him. So plain clothes cops get out of their non-marked car, and this woman cop is screaming at him to roll his window down.
But she was in uniform though, wasn't she?
No, she was not in uniform. Other ones were.
So the picture I had was her back. So I did. Oh, you know what? I should have recognized there was the blue and the flag was not there, I guess.
Yeah. No, I think she was wearing like a blue vest or something.
Okay.
Or the navy blue vest. But so anyway, she's screaming to roll his window down, which you don't actually have to do at a traffic stop. You don't have to roll your window down.
That is true. Learn what traffic stop laws.
And then so actually his window was already down, so he was rolling it up.
Right.
Now allegedly it's for a seatbelt violation. So like
Really?
The windows are tinted as fuck, which
Right.
is probably against the law in Chicago.
It is.
But if the windows are tinted, how can you tell he's not wearing a seatbelt to stop the car?
Again, you're using logic. Logic doesn't mix in with
But anyway,
stuff.
so he starts rolling his window up, and she starts going off the fucking handle. She grabs at his door and starts trying to. Now you can't do that. That's a Fourth Amendment violation.
That is a constitutional violation. Yes, it is.
And the door's locked, so like she's really pissed off, and then she draws her gun. The one thing is, if a cop on a traffic stop says you have to get out of the car, you actually have to get out of the car according to the law.
If it's a lawful order.
Well, anytime they say get out of the car,
it's a lawful. If they pull you over for an alleged crime, yes,
which is a bullshit Supreme Court decision, but it is what it is. But she never said that. She never said get out of the car. She just yanked the door, and then she pulled her gun. Now, like, imagine you're in the situation, right? You're driving, someone cuts you off in an unmarked car, and they get out and swarm you and start saying, roll the window down, open the door. And like they pull at your door and then they pull a gun on you. I mean.
Okay. This video I watched. I thought I watched most of it. Maybe I haven't seen the full video yet. And we all do know CPD is known to shoot people.
Yeah.
But he did fire first though, right?
Well, so that's another thing how do we know that he fired first? Because it's not in the video anywhere.
You hear the gun popping, and then you see the cops scatter.
Yeah, but I remember.
It doesn't mean he shot first.
A couple weeks ago, an acorn hit a car, and then a cop started shooting.
I will defend that officer. An acorn is dangerous. Man, that guy quit.
Now, okay, so the only reason that they're saying he shot first is because the cops all say he shot first, right? Okay, well, who shot first at Ruby Ridge?
Oh, I'm guessing the ATF, the FBI.
Well, okay, but they say that they didn't, right?
Yeah.
Now, like, I don't know. So, and regardless, even if he shot first, that's a fucking self-defense justified shooting.
If there were no uniformed officers.
So there were uniformed officers.
In his plain sight.
Right, exactly. We don't know where they were in relation to. And honestly, even if you know that they're cops, Like, these guys are fucking nuts. What are they doing?
Yeah,
it's a traffic stop.
But the reality is, if you shoot at the cops, more than likely you're going to die.
I understand that.
So don't shoot at cops.
Well, if you shoot at British soldiers that are coming to take your guns, more than likely you're going to die.
Oh, we're going to a deep move on that one.
That's what it is. Like, you either stand up for your rights or you don't.
Yeah.
And sometimes you have to die for them.
Well, true. No, and I agree. It looked to me like he shot first, but you actually bring up a valid point. We only hear the popping, not the muzzle flashes. Exactly. So I guess we truly don't know. I mean, in Chicago cops, as much as I like them and got family members in the department, I mean, they have shot unarmed people. There was a lady with a cell phone.
Like I told you, my dad shot a guy. Didn't I tell that story on the show, or was that off the show?
I think you said, I think you might have on the first show.
Okay.
I don't listen on the show, so I'm in my zone.
I know I told you the story. I just don't remember if it was on the show or off the show.
It must be on the show because we really don't talk off the show. No, so I mean, I do remember the girl. Oh, she got out of her car. It was at a traffic stop. She had a cell phone in her hand. The cop claimed there was a reflection off of the metal of the phone. Most phones aren't metal, but some are. I mean, there's like one or two that are, and they cut her down. Oh, actually, but there was also the this goes back like, Jesus, it was back in the 90s maybe. I hope it wasn't your dad. I mean, it was an off-duty cop.
No, it wasn't.
No, I know, but he was at a stoplight, and that's back when they allowed the homeless people to clean your windshield.
Yeah.
So don't let a homeless person clean your windshield because more than likely it's urine in the bucket.
It's going to get worse, yeah.
Yeah, but the cop said, hey, don't clean my windshield.
Right.
And the guy did. And the guy that was demanding money got a little too aggressive. The off-duty cop got out and shot the guy and killed him. And then there was the carjacking that took place in front of a bar. It was actually in my neighborhood. It was on Orleans Street, I believe it was. And he pulled up and was valeting. And when he got out, this might have been a suburban cop visiting Chicago on a clubbing night. And the guy jumped in the car and just took off. This son of a bitch stood in the middle of the road and emptied his clip. Completely disregard for human life safety. So that is my problem because I believe the guy was shot 12 or 15 times. Yeah. But do the math. How many bullets were fired for him to be shot that much?
Right.
Because it's funny. There was a shooting in Chicago and the police were involved. Again, this is going back years ago, but I believe they counted 87 bullets were fired, and no one was hit.
Yeah, they don't get much range time.
Yeah, Chicago cops, I mean, I love you. I do, even though you're a cop, I still do, because, you guys are, but practice shooting your goddamn gun.
So the other thing, like, I want to address is a lot of the people that are defending the cops on this also have like Molon Labe bumper stickers and from my cold dead hands. Like, what the fuck are you like? That's what this is, right?
Yeah.
I mean.
Well, so we got to bring up the next issue. Is this another George Floyd situation?
Well.
No, not the actual actions of the.
No. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Is this going to turn into the riots of 24?
So here's the thing about that. Like, they love to protest the most on the worst cases.
Yeah, because George Floyd. I mean, I'm not advocating put your knee on a neck.
No, the cop was wrong, but
then it was in the training though.
It was, but
But common sense tells you.
But no, like there was a guy. I don't want to get his name wrong. But I think it was John Williamson or something like that. He was in Walmart. And Walmart sells BB guns and shotguns and other firearms.
In certain states.
But so he grabbed it. No, the BB gun is just off the shelf, right?
Okay.
So he grabbed a BB gun and he was walking around doing his shopping, right? And he had the BB gun in a safe manner.
Okay.
And some retard called the cops and said, "There's a guy walking around with a gun." And the cops come and they just start blasting him. Now, like, you didn't hear about this in the news, right? Why?
Must have been white.
No, he's a black guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, but he's a black guy who liked guns.
Oh.
And who wanted to legally buy a BB gun.
No.
So like they can't go with that angle, right? And then there was the whole Michael Brown hands up. Remember, like he reached into the cop car and like was beating the shit out of the cop and like reached for the cop's gun. but they went obsessed over this guy. Or there was the guy in like the Wendy's parking lot. That was the Racine, Wisconsin one.
I think they burned that Wendy's down actually.
But like all the cases where the cops were 100% wrong, and like it was actually an unarmed guy that was just minding his own business, the news just walks away. They never talk about that.
No,
it's ridiculous.
I mean, and that's one of the things I was thinking about talking about. I've been going kind of back and forth on this with the media and the politicians, and the fact that they lie so much. I mean, again, I know people that, you know, they're not conspiracy minded like me. They're not, you know, they don't do the deep dives. They don't listen to right-wing podcasts. They listen to CNN and they believe all this stuff.
I mean, if you ask the average person how many unarmed black people do the cops shoot every year, they'll probably say like, 1,000.
Oh yeah, it's no way.
5,000. It's less than 10.
It's actually, if you look at the FBI crime statistics, more unarmed white guys are shot than black guys. But keep in mind though, that's a mathematical bullshit equation because the black community is only 13% of our population, right. And we're much larger. So yes, if you look at the true numbers, there probably is more white guys shot unarmed. But yeah, cops just, how do you fix this?
Well, let's just get rid of cops. We don't need cops.
Oh, we're talking about like Wild West shit kind of stuff? Like Wild West kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. No, the Wild West is a misnomer. I mean, it was great out here back then. I mean...
Yeah, but the mentality was different.
Well, so the mentality follows the conditions, right?
True.
So if you have no cops, if you know that your defense is in your own hands, suddenly everybody becomes nicer, right? Like
no, I mean, and that there's a theory I've looked into that is actually probably very true, and that could explain the Wild West because a lot of guys carry guns,
right?
So there was less activity because you're like, well, if I fuck around, I'm going to find out.
Exactly. So like everyone talks about Jesse James and Billy the Kid. Now like
it's all overblown.
Well, it's not necessarily, but you can maybe name 20 big name outlaws, right? That were bank robber, killers, whatever. But here's the thing. Those are literally the only guys who were doing it.
Right.
There was 20 guys. That was your crime. And like
I heard once,
what did they actually get away with?
Well, I heard once there was more bank robberies in America now in 1 week than ever happened in the Wild West.
That's not surprising.
Yeah, it probably is true.
I mean, it's not like the bank tellers back then, they all had guns, right? You're going to fucking walk into a bank and like try and shoot somebody? Good luck.
Have you ever been to an old bank?
Not recently. A long time ago.
I don't know if any old banks are actually acting as a bank today, but they've converted them into other buildings, which I think is kind of cool. I can go in and check them out.
Yeah.
There's a second floor of a walkway. Huh. And there's guys with shotguns up there, or rifles, or whatever. So yeah, I mean, it probably wasn't real wise to rob a bank. Plus, the posse would chase you down. Was posse real back then?
Like, people didn't fuck around back. Like if because that's why like Jesse James and shit, like they had to go from state to state.
Right.
Like you couldn't just sit and it wasn't like they were living it up. Like these guys were making basic fucking sustenance living. Like it wasn't even worth it to be a low level criminal. Like you don't make any money.
What about train robberies? I've always found those to be kind of cool.
I think it's just a movie thing.
Oh man!
I mean, one of the first Western movies was The Great Train Robbery.
Yeah.
I think we're like 1919 or 1918 something.
Okay. No, because history. I also have a problem with history because I'll state some facts and people are like, well, that can't be true, and it's like, well, no, this is what I read. But I mean, just because I read it doesn't make it true. Because whoever writes the book, if you can't back it up, do you know if that is true? Even though they say, well, no, these were notes passed down with my family, and so I believe this to be true, but you never know.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, history is a tough field. I mean,
it is.
They have all these criteria for determining whether a source is reliable and checking it against other sources.
So one of my, this is not something I would normally bring up on the podcast, but this is one of my more of like my things that I'll say in a group of people when we start having a conversation that I want to see if the shock value, because this I do believe is true, and I'll back that up in a second. But have you ever heard me say Abraham Lincoln was gay?
Maybe. Maybe
And not that there's anything wrong with being gay. I'm just saying. But
I think I have heard this one, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a couple of reasons why I do believe this. One, the guy who wrote the book about it, and he called it out, the dude cited sources. He had letters in Abraham Lincoln's handwriting to his male lovers. And Abraham Lincoln was known to have two male lovers in his career. One was in Illinois, which another thing that bothers me because I don't focus very well. The land of Lincoln.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln was born in Kentucky.
Right, and he grew up in Indiana.
And then moved to Illinois.
Yeah.
And who has the land of Lincoln on their license plates?
Illinois. Well, he was a senator.
Makes sense.
He was a lawyer, and then he became a senator, and then the president.
Okay, so it doesn't matter where you're born at, it's just where you're, okay.
Yeah.
So, and then I'm not even getting to Mary Todd, who looked like a guy. I mean, she did. I'm sorry. But it was the 1800s. I'm putting my, 2024 view on 1862 or whatever those pictures were taken. And then there's the log cabin Republicans. Yeah. Are you familiar with this group?
Yeah.
Do you know why they're called the log cabin Republicans?
It must be because of Abraham Lincoln somehow.
He was born in a log cabin, and they have adopted the fact that he was gay.
Couldn't he have been bi?
Well, he had to be. Okay, you know what? That's actually a valid point. I love that because he did sleep with Mary Todd.
Yeah, he had children with her, allegedly.
Kind of, sort of, maybe. Really don't know.
How did you prove paternity back then? You couldn't really tell.
I mean, did he have kids with Mary Todd?
I thought he did.
Did Mary Todd give birth?
I
don't know. I mean, it's not my thing.
Yeah,
I looked at it. I don't expect you to go, well, yeah, Ron, you see.
I've never.
No, I get it.
Okay, let's put it this way. I think there's a higher probability that those are Abe Lincoln's kids than that those are Obama's kids. Let's put it that way.
Oh, my God.
Canceled.
Yep. So how is Michael doing?
I haven't paid attention.
I try not to get into these crazy fucking conspiracy theorists, but they said the guy's name.
Look, I'm not saying that Michelle Obama is a man. I'm just saying those aren't her kids. Those aren't their kids.
I'm just saying there's something weird in the tight dress. I mean, it was there. Wasn't there? Okay, I'm not going to go into more detail.
Let's move forward.
I don't know. I'm not an Obama fan.
So Lincoln.
Lincoln being gay. Let's move off of that one because I see this one going south too.
Like Lincoln did.
Oh. See, we have a new audio box here, and it has sound effects, and I seriously have to get the drum roll on that because that would have been a perfect spot for it. Okay, let's try to get into at least history of what's going on within the last 5 years and not 150 years. Oh, did you know that we gave smallpox to the Indians?
Oh, yeah.
No. I'm actually reading a book. I don't know why I just did that.
Oh, yeah, of course I knew that, yeah.
No, they're saying that there's no way that actually happened.
What?
Because so we're going back to, the stories originate back in the 1700s before we were a country.
Okay, that's not when it happened, though.
No, there's evidence of the smallpox outbreak was in 1750 that actually took out one of the tribes.
Oh, there may have been later ones, but the original one was in the 1490,
Oh, you're going even further back.
Yeah, because when Columbus came here, the natives had never experienced smallpox at all. So they had no immunity, no way to defend it. And I think by the time Columbus came back a second time, 80% of the natives were dead. I could be wrong on this.
No. But what I'm reading in the book is from the mid 1700th century. They said there was no doctors or physicians out there that were savvy enough at that disease to even know what it's going to do. Right. Now they may have given tainted hospital blankets to people.
Yeah, but they wouldn't have known.
Right, the doctors didn't know.
Right,
so it wasn't done on purpose.
Deliberately do it. Yeah.
And then there's a famous. Again, wasn't going to bring this up today, so I can cite my source if you need to. But there was a steamboat going down apparently the Mississippi River because they said it was in Missouri, and there was a guy on there with smallpox, and he ended up giving it to the natives, which technically weren't natives because they came across the Darien Bridge.
Well, that was 20,000 years ago.
So you become a native after what, 10,000 years?
Something like that.
Okay, so I don't know. So they're saying that he caused the outbreak. just because he had contact with people.
Right.
So I don't know. I mean, again, I don't know why I jumped back to that when I said it's saying recent stuff, but
yeah. Well, so but smallpox evolved with white people essentially in the old world, and when we brought it over, like they just had no defenses.
But did the white people know what they were doing? I mean, did they even know what it was?
So they might have known that you get sick, and if you're around a sick person, you also get sick. But they didn't know about germs. They didn't know about microorganisms.
So was it biological warfare or not?
I doubt it.
See, that's the thing.
I mean, like you would first have to find a sick guy and say, "Hey, sick guy,
cough on him.
Go over there." You know,
ideally, the people with the blankets wouldn't they've gotten sick and died too?
Well, the thing is, because the white people had immunity built up, not all of them got sick, and then even when they did, it was more mild.
No. Immunity doesn't work.
What?
What Fauci told us.
Well,
natural immunity doesn't work.
Yeah, there you go.
You need a vaccine to prevent the spread of the disease. And it stops you from getting the disease.
I'm not a scientist, so, you know.
Neither am I, but you know that's bullshit. Yeah, how is Fauci doing today? See,
I hope he's dead.
You know what pisses me off? Okay.
Oh, you know who died? OJ died.
Yes, he did. He died. Did he die in Florida or Vegas?
I don't know.
I've heard both.
Oh, well, maybe both.
And can we actually
Can you prove it?
Yeah, I know. Well, if it doesn't fit.
No, it doesn't fit.
But can we call him a murderer?
You know.
He was found not guilty in criminal court, but found guilty in civil court.
Right.
But there's people all over the radio that are calling him a murderer, which is fine. I mean, I don't care. I'm pretty sure it happened. But what pisses me off, so when I drive to work, I like to listen to talk radio because if I listen to music, then I get all amped up and I start running people off the road. And here in Vegas, I don't know. Drive the speed limit. I'm not asking you to speed. Just drive the fucking speed limit.
Too hard. It's too hard.
Oh my God, it's scary. I think they're scared. What? Oh yeah. So I just distracted myself. Holy shit.
OJ.
Yeah, I know, but I went off on a Vegas range. So O.J. Simpson did live in Vegas. He lived in the Summerlin neighborhood, and he has been spotted at bars around here. Huh. But I believe he moved over to Florida to be with his kids when he died, which I didn't even know he had cancer. But again, I don't follow him.
Yeah.
But yeah, so with the court cases, calling him a murderer it's weird because I actually so this morning when I was driving to work, and that's why I don't listen to talk radio. And unfortunately, the only talk radio I can listen to in the time that I drive to work is the Brian Kilmeade show. Yeah, he's a Fox News commentator.
Oh boy.
Let's just say that. He's interviewing a comic that I was actually enjoying the interview on. And literally, while the comic was talking, he's, we got breaking news. O.J. Simpson just died. And the comic is like, great way to kill a comic conversation. What the hell? If you're going to have a comic on, you don't need to be the first one to identify it. Yeah. Really. And that's the problem in this news media. We need to be the first one. And Twitter I guess it was Twitter or Facebook. Social media is the one that caused all this shit, which I'm glad they did. Don't get me wrong. But they freaked out the news people. Yeah. And that's why we get all the fake news. I mean, when you see even the dude from CNN, the gray hair guy, the gay guy.
Anderson.
Yeah, Anderson Cooper. The dude is standing in a puddle in a lake of water saying, we're flooding here. And people behind the camera crew, he was standing in a retention ditch. Really? Come on. It's the line, the manipulation. It's just killing me. So,
did you watch the trial back in the day?
I watched the Bronco chase.
Okay, no, I didn't really watch the trial, but I read about it afterwards when I grew up. And the prosecutors just completely fucked it up. I mean, they were so incompetent. The cops were incompetent. The DNA techs were incompetent. Yeah. So, these people could just make whatever shit they want up. And the jury is just like, guilty.
I mean, and the glove it just doesn't fit. It doesn't.
I mean, honestly, I don't believe any murder cases anymore. Because, there was not a case, but it came out a while ago. One of the DNA techs for the state prosecutor's office was just making shit up. I mean, what the fuck, man? They say DNA is 99.9999. Yeah, if they don't fuck it up, but they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that is concerning to me because, and then that goes into, forced confessions.
Right.
And I So there was actually quite a few cases going back to the CPD, Chicago Police Department. There's a group of people, the Innocence Project.
Yeah.
And they will take your case if they feel that you have a case. So they were talking to this guy on death, and this guy was on death row. And the interview project was interviewing him. He goes, I was put in jail. I was in this precinct, in this room. He goes, go in there and flip the bench over.
Yeah.
And they went in there, they flipped the bench over. The dude, I don't know what he had. I don't know if it was like a pen or what. It could have been a knife. He carved into the wood, I'm innocent, I was forced in this confession.
Holy shit. And
then,
they still at the same table.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, why switch it out if it works? It's a wooden bench. But then there was that murder of that girl. She was like 9 years old. Mm-hmm. And CPD in all their glory got a confession.
Yeah.
From 2 11-year-olds. No parents in the room.
Holy shit, dude.
No lawyer, and those kids confessed. Hey, great job, Chicago PD.
Yeah.
Intimidating kids. Guess what? They didn't do it.
Of course.
Yeah. So
this has always been happening.
You know, so this is an issue that I have a son, and I've got a lot of black friends, and I truly do. We don't hold back from racial conversations because to grow and move on as people, we need to understand the struggles of each other. And there are a lot of struggles in every race and every nationality and everything. And they're like, well, you didn't have to have the talk with your son about how to deal with cops. And I'm like, the hell I didn't.
Yeah, my dad taught me. My dad was a cop, and he told me how to deal with cops.
I told my son at different ages. 16 was one of them before he started driving. 18 was another one, and 21 was another one.
Right.
And basically each conversation was a little bit different. And it's not that I told him not to trust police because I don't want him growing up with that kind of mentality. But I also
I got that one on my own.
Well, if your dad's a cop, you would know, don't trust police.
Yeah.
But it was more of, shut your fucking mouth.
Right.
Shut up.
Right, exactly.
Don't get caught up. They can lie to you. Yeah. You can't lie to them.
They're not talking to you to be your friend.
Just talk to a lawyer. And within my family, I've actually had some situations where it went bad, and I'm like, why didn't you call me?
Yeah.
Talk to me. I would just say, shut up.
Right.
Don't talk.
Like they know how to put the pressure on to make you want to talk.
Yeah. If they're trying to close a case out, they're going to scare you. They're going to intimidate you. And if they give you a bottle of water or a can of soda, don't drink it because they want your DNA. Your lips
on there. Yeah.
Pour it in your mouth. Yeah. Do not give them your DNA. Speaking of DNA, are you with 23andMe? Do you ever?
Yeah. Right.
So. Some of my family members bought my mother the 23andMe gift.
Yeah.
I'm like, why did you do that for me? Because now that's my DNA.
And now it's public.
Now the FBI can track me down.
Well, it's been leaked. You know that, right?
Oh, no. They gave the information to the FBI.
No, but I mean, it's been leaked publicly.
Okay.
Like a hacker got it and leaked it out.
Is he going to build clones of me? Do I got to worry about being a clone?
I have no idea.
Okay.
Yeah, who knows?
That would be awesome to have a clone of me, though.
No. It would be terrible.
No, I mean...
You can't handle that.
My wife wants to go shopping. I'll send the clone in.
Wasn't there a movie about that?
It was Homer Simpson, sorry.
No, okay.
Oh, no, Michael Keaton.
Yeah, Michael Keaton. Yeah, Multiplicity.
And then he kept cloning himself.
And the
clones kept cloning themselves.
Yeah. Hilarious movie.
Yes, it was. So, okay, we go down weird roads here. The other thing I want to talk about, and this is probably more serious, but I'm sure we'll find the humor in it. Are we going to war with Iran?
Sure, why not? we got trillions to spend, right?
So the people that I've been listening to are saying we can't beat Iran.
Well, we couldn't beat Afghanistan. We couldn't beat Iraq. We couldn't beat Vietnam. Why can we?
Well, no, okay, no.
Iran's got nukes.
I know. So is Israel, though.
Yeah, but we're not going to war with Israel.
Well, okay. So the reason I asked that question is Israel bombed an embassy for Iran.
Okay.
And Iran says they have to pay for it.
Okay.
Now Iran has taken action. So Iran has taken action. They're suspending flights out of Iran. They're calling all their citizens back. They're making moves like they're going to war. And apparently, according to one guy, they have missiles that we can't even shoot down. We can't stop. So
not surprising.
So if they attack Israel, because they're not going to attack us directly,
right? But
if they attack Israel, even though Joe Biden said that we're not going to get involved. But I don't know if he'll remember saying that.
No, of course not.
So, and do we have a duty to protect Israel, right? I don't agree with it.
I don't have a duty to do that.
That's a very good point. But, I mean, we've always protected Israel.
Well, okay, so what do you think the draft age people are going to do?
Is now the best direct route to Canada is how?
Just go straight up 95?
Just drive north. Until you're sure. Wait, how do they say sorry? Sorry?
Sorry.
And a boot. When you hear that, you're not getting drafted.
There you go.
Well, that's the thing, though. We don't have a fighting force.
No, we have people in dresses and high heels, and they're all vaxxed up.
So now here's something else I didn't want to bring up. Did you see? So you have to look this up at some point. And eventually we will have some software where we can play videos on this, because this video really needs to be seen. In Australia, a news lady was interviewing a they-them. And she goes, I'm not calling, the reporter's like, I'm not saying that to you.
Yeah.
You're a female.
Yeah.
I can clearly see it. I'm not going to lie to my viewers.
Straight to jail.
Yeah. No, it's Australia. I mean,
Straight to jail.
Is Australia woke?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, everyone's worse than America, pretty much.
No.
Every
in the woke community?
Yes.
Have you been to Seattle?
Have you talked to a European or an Australian? I
mean, are they really that? I know Ireland's going woke.
They gave up their guns.
Well, no, see, okay, I've got into a debate with people about this. So technically, after the gun grab Australia did, there are more guns in Australia than the day they bought back all the guns.
But nobody has them.
Well, no. Okay, so technically, that's been debunked.
Okay.
There are more guns in Australia now. There's less people that own guns, and people think that's a good thing. So what you're saying is a good thing is less people own more guns than before. So if you get into a fight, you have people that really want to own guns.
Yeah.
Not sure they're the ones you really want owning guns. So I mean, yeah. So that the Australian argument does not hold up anymore.
I don't know, man.
Yes, I don't know. I mean, there's theories on everything. Who knows what is right? Because we're lied to all the time. And that's, like I said, that's something I do want to address eventually, because it's the media, it's the politicians. This is not Republican or Democrat. This is both of those guys. They're all lying to us, and it's blatant. I mean, Biden economics is working.
Well, it is working.
Yeah,
not for you.
I mean, they're like, oh, things are cheaper. The last jobs report, really? They're like, oh my God, this is an amazing jobs report. Woo! Biden's
they were all
doing great.
Jobs and part-time jobs.
So part-time jobs, and the average rate of pay went down. And our current president of the United States is happy about that. They called that a win. You guys need to readdress the jobs report. This is ridiculous. It's a lie.
Well, you know they go back and adjust those every month.
Well, because they lie when it comes out,
yeah.
So the media gets the headlines.
Right.
That's clickable,
yeah.
But no one clicks on it. They read the headline and move on.
Well, according to them, they're just like adding more data as more reliable data comes in.
Yeah.
But somehow, like 98% of the time, it ends up being worse than what they reported.
No.
Now, you would think
that can't be true.
You would think that if their model was good, then the adjustments would be randomly fluctuated, bad or good. But no, it always gets worse.
In every case. I mean, so our government is, again, Republicans and Democrats, people. We are not. I'm not partisan. I can't accept any of them anymore. At least in Congress. I mean, yeah, local politicians. You're going to find some good, some bad, but they are manipulating things. They're lying to us. I truly don't understand how you've got millennials and Gen Z. How are they going to afford a house?
They're not. They're going to have to inherit it.
But then you also got BlackRock just buying up everything.
Yeah, well,
BlackRock, Vanguard, and there's a third company that's doing it.
America.
They're stealing the American dream away from everybody. I mean, it's disgusting.
Well, we got to move on. Otherwise, we can do this all night.
Oh yeah, we are getting there. So yeah, we will move on because I don't want to go off on a rant because I feel one bubbling, and nobody wants to see that because I'll have the FBI at my door.
If you're in the Vegas area, we have libertarian meetups every other Friday, and you can hear Ron rants until like midnight. Good times.
I love those meetings. I usually hijack them with some stupid conversation. But it's all fun. Yeah, we go into little rants, and Dave and I, we gotta finish our conversation. It's, can a car be hacked and driven, or can a car just be hacked and not driven? Not today. Not this time.
There was So the barge, there was another one.
Two more. There was two other ones
that lost power near a bridge.
Oklahoma, and I believe up around New York somewhere.
I mean, holy fuck, that's insane, right? Like, and I don't know if I thought I said this on the show, but I said
I saw in your notes about the show.
You could probably disable it remotely, but then you couldn't steer it, right? So
cyber towing, you can.
Well, but the fact that this barge was able to avoid the bridge after the power had been disabled. So like the power got disabled and it was going towards the bridge, and they were able to steer it. Not they had tugboats.
So these barges, they do have a non-powered steering device.
Yeah.
I'm finding that out. But it apparently, well, they have numerous ways of steering the boat. One is just like no power, use this one.
Yeah.
And because it's not power, apparently it's the opposite.
Right. Yeah, you mentioned that.
So it's possible it was Captain Air. I'm not going to use the word
but the thing
master.
is, so like, let's say you can remotely cut the power.
No, you can remotely steer these
Right,
things.
but I'm saying, let's say you could only remotely cut the power.
So we're going to
do this. You just do this to enough boats, and some of them will hit bridges.
No,
you don't have to have them all hit bridges.
I was going to do some research and have some evidence here for you, but I'm like, we're not really ready. Or our audience really isn't ready for this conversation yet. But no, cyber towing, I believe, is a thing. So here's the thing about that. So the little gecko said, we're not covering this.
Yeah.
So they didn't really have Geico. I just like the little gecko. He's cute. He's walking down, talking and shit. But did you see the press conference of the people that own the barge? We are not responsible for this. We had no equipment failure.
Yeah.
We had no employees do anything wrong in this bridge accident.
Huh.
So they came out publicly and said that. And this is kind of going back to like the Abraham Lincoln book being gay or whatever book you read. I because it's so hard to find out what facts are, I wait for the rebuttal, the rebukes of what was said.
Right.
Government didn't say anything. So the fact that, I mean, within within hours of that boat taking down that bridge, our FBI is saying, no, it's not terrorist, it's not terrorist. And then Biden comes stumbling out like 7 a.m. in the morning. Oh, no, we're going to pay for everything. That's where, okay, so I try to be a rational person with a conspiracy mind. And certain things raise my red flags. All that raised my red flags. And then now you've got 2 minutes of the black box recording is missing, which the black box does not need power from the boat to record.
Right.
And the fact that we're going to pay for everything. So the company, and then the company coming out saying that it's not their fault. There was no system failure. Right. There was no human failure. Huh. Well, where was the failure at?
Right.
I mean, or they intended to drive a boat into a bridge.
Right.
So maybe next week we go into cyber towing, and is a car hackable? Right. This might be a fun conversation.
Yeah.
I'll stay off. I won't unless something major happens.
Right.
Like Iran attacking Israel. Maybe Dave and I will have this conversation because there's something really fun about our conversations when we're out opposing each other. We're both very passionate about stuff, and we dig our heels in, and it's a really funny conversation. And so maybe we'll have that conversation next week where we just get out. You'll see us ranting and raving, waving our arms around. No, I'm right. No, you're wrong. That kind of stuff. It may not be factual, but it will be entertaining. So maybe that's something that we do.
So tune in.
So what do you have today for computer stuff?
So like I said last week, I want to talk about some low-tech things.
Okay.
So these are things that will help you out in a situation where maybe you don't have great internet access, or maybe it's limited internet access.
Or a barge goes into all the internet towers.
Yeah, exactly. So the first concept I want to talk about is called a bug-out bag.
Yes.
You've heard about bug-out bags? So a bug-out bag is, shit hit the fan, and you need to go right now. So you grab your bag, and you get the fuck out. What kind of things would you have in a bug-out bag? Maybe a set of clean clothes, for example.
Yeah, different clothing because you might head to the mountains, so you need warmer clothes and cooler clothes.
So you want a couple waterproof bags. That could be either made of heavy plastic or maybe Mylar. Yeah. Because there's some things you want to store in the bug-out bag that need to be waterproof. So
correct.
If it's raining, you keep the stuff nice.
You should always have waterproof matches, and you want to keep those in a bag because lighters do fail.
You're getting ahead of me here.
Oh, sorry.
You should have a basic survival kit. That would be like a first aid kit. Maybe some paper maps, a compass, a knife, some electrical tape, a fire source, whether that's a lighter or matches, and a flashlight. Some other thing you might have is maybe some basic toiletries like bar soap, toothbrush, and toothpaste. You want to be clean while you're on the run. A set of credentials or IDs, like a driver's license, passport.
Make sure they're government issued.
That's up to you and how you want to get your IDs, whatever. Maybe some cash, a couple $1,000 spending cash. Smaller bills are better.
Yes.
Because, here in Vegas, nobody cares about hundreds.
Right.
But in other cities, that draws suspicion. Right?
Yes, it does.
So another thing I've been looking into really recently, so they have these little small radio transmitters.
Yes.
They're called LoRa Meshtastics.
Oh, okay.
They're kind of like CB radios, except they do digital stuff.
Okay.
So they run on battery power, or they can be solar even. So you're not tied to the grid. You can send small messages back and forth between other.
Like that.
Yeah, it's really cool. I might actually do a segment on them.
Okay. A little deep dive. Okay.
Yeah. Or you could do classic CB radio, but that's heavy. It takes a lot of room.
And the government can monitor that.
Yeah, CBs are unencrypted. Where these are as well, but you could encrypt over them.
Well, but the likelihood of the government listening to that versus CB,
true.
yeah.
The other thing you might want to consider is a firearm of some kind with some ammo.
Now, handgun or like rifle, shotgun, or a little bit of both?
Well, it's a bug-out bag, so you want a handgun.
The handgun, okay, bug-out.
If you want a rifle as well, maybe have that in the car ready to go, or have it, next to your door where you can just grab and go.
Grab and go.
A set of lockpicks, maybe. You never know when lockpicks will come in handy. Now, one thing I should say, if you are in Nevada, we are the only state where mere possession of lockpicks is illegal.
Really?
So if you're in Nevada, maybe skip the lockpicks. But other states, you are allowed to have them.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, maybe when you get elected to assembly, you can change that.
I'll have to change that so I don't get arrested for having. They actually have a lockpick. When I say gun, it doesn't not say that it fires bullets, but it's a device. You pull the trigger and it moves the pins around. So.
So another thing you might want to consider is a burner laptop and a burner phone.
Yeah.
So these are devices that you purchase and you never turn them on. You just put them in your bag, and if you go, you go. And now you can use them, and they're fresh. There's no fingerprinting that's associated with you. And now with a phone, it's hard to get a SIM card without having to show your ID.
Right.
There are ways to do it. I might want to do that on another episode.
Well, what about satellite phones though?
You still got to give ID
to get the phone though. But I mean
service.
Okay.
You can always get a phone. You can buy a phone with cash, but to get service, you generally have to show ID.
I don't know if I knew that.
Yeah, even a prepaid card, you have to show ID.
Really?
Yeah.
Even like so you buy a phone at 7-Eleven, you got to show the ID?
Yes.
Really?
So one thing you might want to consider trying is go to like an ethnic neighborhood where they have phone stores.
Yeah.
And say, hey, I don't have an ID. Can you help me out? Just give it a try. Because if they say no, then you just walk away.
Yeah.
But yeah, we can. I'll get into details on another episode because I can go really deep into this. So another thing you might want to consider, maybe some snacks and a bottle of water. And long-lived snacks like beef jerky, peanuts.
Well, this is kind of where our two worlds collide because I would also say, you have a car with a trunk and everything. Assuming you're able to use the car, you sold a generator. Because you can charge your cell phones, you can charge your computers.
But that's not really a bug-out bag.
No, I know, but I mean, you would also put that in your trunk.
Yeah. I mean, like, whatever your use case is, consider. I'm just giving you the basics. Right?
Yeah.
If you take medicine, obviously have some backup medicine and vitamins in your Bugout bag. Maybe a book or some music or a video game console.
No, I mean, you need some kind of entertainment, yeah.
And the last thing I would suggest is a deck of cards. Now, what can you actually do with a deck of cards? So obviously you can do entertainment, right? You
Yeah.
can play card games. And the other thing is, if you take a deck of cards and you shuffle it real well,
Yeah.
no deck of cards in the history of the universe has ever been in that order, ever. Now,
Mind blown.
it blows your mind, and you can't actually believe it. Like, you can't accept it, but it's mathematically true. And why is this useful, right? So, in cryptography, we have a concept called entropy.
Okay.
So now entropy is essentially randomness, and the better your randomness, the better you can encrypt things. So you can actually take this shuffled deck of cards and use it to encrypt a message. You can store your Monero key in it. You can do all sorts of crazy shit, right? And I actually have, I wrote an app that will take your Monero key and convert it into a deck of cards.
Really?
Yeah.
So is it, I mean, so the card itself is the key, or you're
The
able
deck, the ordered
Really?
deck, yeah. So if you, I'll put the link on the website.
Okay.
And like when you get a crypto wallet, it gives you this this phrase of words, and that's your key essentially. And normally you would write that down on a piece of paper, right? But let's say you're traveling through the airport,
Yeah.
and they decide to randomly search you, and they see a piece of paper with 25 words on it. Now maybe the TSA dickhead doesn't know what that means,
Yeah.
but the FBI knows what that means. That means that's your crypto, right? So they might confiscate that and just steal your money. But let's say you walk through the airport with one of these. Why would they even think to search it?
Yeah.
Right? They wouldn't. And so talking about encrypting messages, there's a book called Cryptonomicon.
Okay.
It's a fiction book, like a dystopian sci-fi. The writer actually contacted a cryptographer and said, "Hey, can you come up with a way to encrypt messages with a deck of cards?" And he said, "Okay, let me see what I can do." And then he came back with this. It's called a solitaire cipher.
Okay.
And I'll put a link to this on the website as well. So you can do this by hand. It's easier to do it with a computer, but obviously if you don't have one, you need to know how to do it by hand. So you can, take this deck of cards, encrypt a message, and then pass that message to someone. And as long as they have the same deck, they can now decrypt the message.
Oh, I
and like a
that.
third party that intercepts it without the cards, they have no idea. Right?
So you don't need that ring from the cereal box anymore.
No, yeah.
Oh, that's badass.
So let's say I give a message to Ron, and then he needs to decrypt it. Well, I just give him the deck of cards, right? So I just give the deck of cards.
Yeah. Oh, you actually give them to me.
Oh
no, I dropped them.
What the hell,
Clumsy.
dude? Now the key's gone.
Is it?
Well,
I'm guessing it's not, but okay.
Well, okay. So I have a solution for that too. So hand me the cards back.
Okay.
So check this shit out. I don't know if it's going to show on the camera, unfortunately. Let's see. Oh, that you can't see that shit at all, but you can see it.
Oh yeah, you got little markings on there.
Yeah. So
okay.
So you can mark the cards in the order, and if you tell me you can see that mark.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can mark the cards so that if they get shuffled out of order, you can put them back in order again.
Oh, tricky.
So there's a couple ways to do this. One method is invisible ink. And do you know how to make invisible ink?
No, I don't.
So there's a couple ways to do that, which are all household ingredients. One is you get lemon juice.
Okay.
You just draw it with lemon juice, let it dry.
Oh, just lemon juice.
You just lemon juice. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And the way to reveal it is you got to use heat.
Okay.
So this isn't so good with cards because
Right,
you're destroying the cards essentially. But another way, so you know what this is?
That would be a bottle of water.
Well, this is tonic water.
Oh, yeah, I actually saw the label.
And
okay.
tonic water has something in it called quinine.
Yeah.
And when you hit quinine with UV light,
okay, that you can actually see on
this.
camera. I did not know that.
So you can actually paint things with quinine and then run a UV light over them. And then now I couldn't get it to work with this flashlight, so it might be just as not enough UV power.
Right.
But I did more research, and the ultimate solution I came up with was I went to Walmart and got a small fine tip highlighter pen.
Yeah.
And you cannot see that on the back of these cards.
So that's all you use to make the mark.
Yeah, just draw it.
Oh, that's some high-tech stuff. That's actually low-tech. Wow.
I wish I could show it on the camera. Maybe I'll do like a picture at home and put it in the feed.
Well, hold on one second. Let me try something. 'Cause I want the people to see this.
You can turn the light off.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah, it's the light. Unfortunately, just shows the whole card.
Okay.
But I'll upload a photo. But it's really cool. And
Nice.
that's what you can do amazing things with a deck of cards. And you should always have them in your bug out bag. And then the last thing I want to talk about is an old spy concept called a dead drop.
Yes.
So a dead drop is like you want to pass your deck of cards to your trusted party, but how do you get it to them without people interfering or
Right,
or
you
knowing
have
what
to
you're
you have to
doing?
meet them in person to get them a deck of cards.
Well, you don't have to meet them in person.
What?
That's what the dead drop does.
Yeah. No.
So the dead drop is now you have to agree ahead of time where the drop point will be
Okay.
and what the signal will be when you put something in it.
Okay.
So if you remember the movie Hackers from 1995, I want to say.
Yeah, I don't. I remember the movie. I just don't remember what went on in there.
So they find this virus and they download it after hacking the Gibson supercomputer.
Okay.
And the cops start going after them. And one of the hackers puts it in the men's room behind the paper towel machine, I want to say.
Okay.
And then they arrest him. But they don't find the disc on him because he's already dropped it. And he's in the station and he makes his phone call and he calls up one of the other hackers. And he says, "Hey, it's in that place where I put that thing that time."
Okay.
And he hangs up the phone. Now, what the hell does that mean,
Right.
right? Well, the other hacker knows what that means. Then they know to go to the bathroom and look behind the paper towel machine. So basically, you want to set it up ahead of time with a trusted party. Where's our dead drop point, and what's the signal to go pick it up? Now you can do a chalk marking somewhere. Like the old mailboxes have the flag.
Yeah.
Come up with something like that. So when someone sees that, they know, oh, there's something in the dead drop. But yeah,
Nice.
That's what I got today.
All right, no, that's actually very informative. But I do have one question though, because I do have a bug out bag, and I do. But now, is it advisable if you have a bug out bag to have a bug out place to go? I mean,
Sure. I mean, this is all going to be to your own situation, right?
Okay.
So what are you expecting to happen? What are the threats that you expect to face? It is good to have preset plans on places you can go.
Well, short of like Putin sending us a nuclear missile, I guess, or Iran now, who the fuck knows? I would rather stay home because I can defend myself here more than I could somewhere else.
Right. So I'm not saying
but I agree with the bug out bag.
Yeah.
But I've never really known the time when it's time to bug out.
Yeah.
And then jeopardize your family on the road. Because if you're bugging out, other people are bugging out, and mass hysteria is broke loose. And
so it's a bug out bag is not usually for societal problems.
Okay.
It's more of a you problem.
Oh.
So I don't know how you guys make your money. I don't care. But
we don't have. I don't answer questions like that.
If you're doing things that certain people don't like, you might need to bug out.
That's okay. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Or say you become a dark web merchant like we suggested, and you only sell legal things, but someone doesn't like you and they find out where you live. Well, time to hit the road, right?
I've actually never thought about that in the bug out situation.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah.
See, it's educational here, people.
All right, what do you got for us?
So we've talked about, different kinds of food and, what to prep for. But the main thing, too, we don't want to forget about is cooking the food. So when you're prepping, you can prep for charcoal. If you got a pellet smoker, you can do the pellet smoker. So you've got options at home. But one, if you do need to bug out, or if you run out of charcoal, or if you run out of pellet smokers, you do need something that can burn something that's easily obtainable. And a rocket grill does. Now, you can debate the green wood versus the dry wood and what burns better. Well, we all know what burns better. But once you get this rocket grill firing up, it's going to take on the green wood as well. It's a design grill that you can actually make these at home fairly easy if you know how to weld. That's the dying art, unfortunately. But so it's basically you can kind of look it up online. They do sell some, and they do have instruction on how to make them. But it kind of self feeds the you first put your kindling in there, and you back the kindling up with the log, and it's a piece of like a 4x4 steel beam that's empty in the middle with another one kind of at an angle, and then a grill head on top. And once you get that fire started, you put in the bigger logs, and it kind of self-feeds as it burns. And you can actually get this thing actually pretty hot. So you can cook your food even if you don't have charcoal or you don't have propane. Because, if you do prep that and something happens that lasts for a while, you're going to need to burn something.
Right.
Break up your living room furniture, probably not the best suggestion. But if you got wood, you can always get wood. Ironically, here in the desert, wood's kind of hard to come by.
Well, we have palm trees. We have saguaros, Joshua trees.
Yeah, but they're illegal to cut down.
At that point, I'm not going to give a fuck.
How wood, because a palm tree is not necessarily wood, though. It's more like fibers mashed together.
It burns.
Does it? Okay, I don't know much about palm trees, so. But you're also looking at a big stump. They don't have the branches that you would actually typically burn. But you should also prep wood. If you have a fireplace, or if you want to just have a fire out in the backyard, just kind of like keep warm, or even just sit down and tell stories over if you got no power. So, but it also, you can utilize that to cook your food. So look into like a rocket grill or some kind of like wood burning grill, because that will be there for you if you need to cook food. Because we can have all this food at hand, and cold beans are fine, but warm beans are better. I'll eat peppers, but I'd like to grill myself. So if you have the availability to cook the food, it just gives you one more comforts until we get saved by what country would save us?
Us.
Us. Okay, yeah. So you until we all get a chance to get together and save this country. It just gives you. It's just a different method of cooking food. I think next week I'm going to come kind of talk about the plants you should grow if you want to protect your body and help your body fight off certain things. So there's a lot of plants out there that will aid in making you feel better.
Cool.
That are not medicine, by the way. They are not
medicine. 100% not medicine.
But they will just aid in helping you out. Anything else? I think we got a little over an hour.
Well, so we got to do our. Next week I'm going to talk about single board PCs.
Okay.
You've heard of Raspberry Pis?
No.
Really? They're all the rage. It's like a little tiny computer, like yay big.
Yeah.
They're amazing.
Really?
So I'm going to teach you all about them.
Oh shit! I can't wait till next week now.
Yeah. But we also got to do our Monero giveaway for this week.
What's the challenge this week?
So on our website, there somewhere, I'm not going to tell you where, you have to find it yourself, there's going to be a deck of cards.
Ooh.
And that deck of cards will be a Monero wallet key.
Oh, smart.
So you use my app to convert that deck of cards into a key, grab yourself the wallet, and steal the Monero. And again, it's 0.01, so $1 and change.
Yeah.
Now, we have no way to know who wins, or if any. I do know I can tell if someone does win, but I don't know who it'll be, because they'll be sneaking in and stealing the money.
Okay.
But if you do steal it, go ahead and come to the chat room and announce yourself and
collect
be proud.
your reward.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
I like how you tie these things together, because eventually I do want to come up with some like prepper challenges,
Right.
To kind of help out with this. Unfortunately with prepper stuff, it's gonna be hard to kind of come up with some, but I will get creative here and think of some. So I think are we done for the night?
I believe so.
We are done, people. Thanks for listening, and come back next week for the next show. Goodbye.